Hey everyone, this video is going to be about the minor arcana for the Six of Cups. And okay, so the Six of Cups is a card that's about nostalgia. Few of the key words is childhood memories, nostalgia, goodwill. As you can see, it's a very sweet card. It's about being kind and tender, and oftentimes when this card appears, it can really indicate that there's a possibility of a reconciliation or a reunion with somebody. And okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the work definition of this card, the work meaning of this card. So in the work and career aspect of a reading, this can sometimes represent that, the job that you're doing, it has something to do with children. Sometimes when I do readings and I see this card, usually that tends to be the case, working with either children or working in an environment where there's a lot of young people. And sometimes when this card also appears, it can even mean that you should look back at what you wanted to be when you were a kid. Looking back in the old days, like what did you used to want to be as a child? What was your dream? And maybe to pursue that. And then if you're looking at just what does it mean in terms of your actual work, like a work you already have, like if you're asking a question about the job you already have and not asking about a career path, for example, or what kind of career path you should pursue, the Six of Cups is about just being kind to others, experiencing goodwill. Like if you ask this about your card of the day at work, for example, it can represent that, hey, maybe you should try to be nice to people at work, and you'll also feel the kindness in the air, at work. So that's another meaning of the Six of Cups. So, depending on your question, it, really just depends on how you word the question. It could mean different things, and I'm sure you've heard me say that a million times, but that is true. That's what makes reading the cards, there's so much room for interpretation. It is an art. So, anyway, so for the love category, for love, well, this is all about, you know, reunions and, maybe getting back with a childhood partner, and possibly somebody that maybe had a crush on since you were a kid. Something, the root of this card is about childhood. I mean, that's really the key essence of this card. But if not, and let's say your question was not even about that, like, because sometimes people will ask questions about what's going to happen with me and, so and so, and they ask a question and you're not asking about a general guidance, like what to do or what's coming in just generally. If you're actually asking about a specific person and this person is not a childhood interest, this could mean that the person will treat you very well, very kind, very tender. As you could see in the picture, the little boy, he's giving the girl flowers. And so, like think, this might be, a time when you get a special gift from him or her. A lot of times this is a card about giving. It's a very giving card. It is about being kind, and it's a very innocent card too. very innocent because of the children. And so the idea is that there's a lot of purity there. Some people I know usually see this card as just a friendship, like it's just a friendship, like you're really just being kind to somebody without any, sexual desire, but if other cards point to that, I would go with that interpretation. Say if there's other cards that denote that there's an absence of sexual energy, like say for example, if you get the Six of Cups near, maybe, it depends, but you could see it if you see it next to, if you're looking at the surrounding cards and you get like the Star card, that could represent that it's a totally humanitarian kindness, a kind gesture there. And if you're looking at, and the Three of Cups, that's another friendship card. I knew there was other friendship cards. I couldn't think of one right off the top of my head. But yeah, cards that just are about goodwill, and there's not much of a sexual a vibration. But like if you see, let's say, the Empress next to this card, or well, depending on your question, the Empress and the Six of Cups could just mean a mother-child relationship. But if you're asking in terms of like love and romance, the Empress could mean procreation, sexual things, procreating, that sort of thing. And and this is a really nice card. I actually like when this card appears in a reading because it's a refreshing card in my opinion. It's very, sweet and tender, and there's a lot of kindness in this card. And in all honesty, this is all about, look, like the general idea of this card is to look out for any childhood, relationships that you've had. Like, they call this card a blast from the past, as they say. So, anyhow, okay, so for finances, the only way I would really, you know, look at this as to interpret it in a financial reading would be, since this is a card about kindness, financially, you may expect somebody to give you a gift, and that, has to do with the material aspect, your finances, your material life. Maybe getting a gift, or getting something, compensated for something. Maybe it's not that big, but it's something that you're receiving as opposed to having to give. So, this isn't a bad card if you get it in a financial reading. Usually if I were to see a card like this, I would pull out an extra card, or maybe look at the surrounding cards for a little more understanding of what this could mean in terms of a financial outlook. Because if you see this card, it's not a pentacle, so it doesn't really say much about your finances so much. All it says is that there's an element of kindness around you. So, maybe charity could be the key word here. Maybe you're, looking to receive charity, or giving charity, but depending on what's surrounding it, you may have to figure out if it's you giving charity or you're receiving it. Another charitable card would be like the Six of Pentacles, of course. But if you're doing a spread and the card that represents your attitude shows to be one who's giving, then you could probably assume that this is the Six of Cups is representing you, giving giving as opposed to receiving. So that's, that's how I would look at this card. It's a little hard to, sometimes give a very clear cut interpretation on certain cards without others to kind of give it the, the shade, because to give it a little more meaning. But overall, the Six of Cups is a really sweet card. It kind of is a reminder to just stop and be kind to others as a guidance card. Look at what is important. Always, remember to be kind to your fellow man. That's how I usually look at it. It's a very sentimental card. It's about getting in touch with your feelings, but in a very, innocent way. Get back to your childhood innocence, as they say, which I think is great. But in terms of finances, I would say that this is about receiving something, but maybe not in terms of money, but more like a gift, or receiving something that you need from a very kind person. And yeah, so that's just, that's how I would look at interpreting this card. Okay, well, that is my meaning for the Six of Cups. I hope that helps a little bit. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and leave a reply. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.